What's up, Rooted Collective? Welcome back to Awakened and Rooted, where the veil is thin, the vibes are deep, and the stories will make you question everything. So if you are into the mystical, the metaphysical, or the downright unexplainable, you are in the right place. So let's get into it.
A clear indicator that you're dealing with an energy eater, an energy vampire, a devil, a demon, a serpent is notice how you feel when you leave their presence. Because one common thing I've noticed about dealing with these spirits and people, rather that's in a man, in a family member, in a coworker, in a homegirl, is every time you leave their presence, you tend to hyperfixate and overanalyze. Overanalyzing yourself, overanalyzing them, hyperfixating on what you said, what they said. You're just in your head about the interaction. And that's because when you are dealing with energy eaters, energy vampires, they are taking you out of your power. When you are in your power, when you are around people who empower you, you don't hyperfixate on your interaction because you don't have to. They make you feel validated in your ideas. You feel secure in your belief systems. You might leave these people feeling inspired. They give you a new idea. You feel empowered. You feel motivated. When you are around energy vampires, they are taking you out of your power. That is why you leave them second guessing yourself, especially when you are dealing with the spirit in a man. When you are dealing with a man who is draining your energy, he leaves you feeling insecure. You feel like you have to be your best at all times. You feel like you have to prove why you the baddest bitch and ain't no with you. Men who are draining your energy make you feel like you are in a constant state of comparison because they are taking your power. When you are in your power, again, you are the most secure version of yourself. You believe in yourself. You believe in the things you say. You know you the baddest. There is no competition because you only see you. If every time you leave that man, you are hyper fixating on your interaction, and I'm not talking about a good way. You're leaving feeling insecure about yourself, they're probably draining your energy.
So I hear what she is saying and I feel where she's coming from. And I also wanted to add, like, when you are actually with somebody who's an energy vampire, at least for me, your energy feels like it's being drained when you're with them, not actually like after you leave them and you have to kind of reevaluate the whole interaction. My energy feels drained when I'm with them.
Hey y'all, it's Fat Girl Freestyle here. I just woke up from the weirdest dream. It is 1:56 in the morning. I don't even have my glasses on, so forgive me. Forgive me for squinting. I'm struggling to even get my thoughts together. Remember the other day I told y'all about the encounter I had with the vampire, and I said in the video that I shouldn't even be talking about it. She was in my dream, y'all. She was in my dream, y'all. And how I knew it was her was her voice. Remember I told y'all when I was talking about it in the video, it's like I could hear her voice in my head. Well, I knew it was her in the dream by her voice. I could not see her face. It's like her face was like constantly in shadow in the dream. But let me try and keep this as short as possible. So we have a street in New Orleans, Esplanade Avenue. So in the dream, I'm on Esplanade Avenue, and it's during the daytime, but nobody, like the street was deserted. There was nobody out there, no cars passing, nobody was walking, nothing. It was just me. And in the dream, I'm just kind of looking around, like trying to figure out what's going on. And y'all, it felt like I was really like my heart is beating. Ooh, because it felt like I was really there. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let me keep going. So I'm walking down Esplanade. Like I said, it's daytime, but the street is deserted. Nobody is there. It's just me. And I'm just kind of walking, looking around and I can feel myself trying to figure out what's going on, because it was almost like I know I'm supposed to be in my bed sleeping, but why am I here right now, kind of thing. And I heard a woman calling my name, like, Kimberly, Kimberly, like that, but from a distance. And I started looking around, and in the dream I'm like, hello, hello, but nothing is coming out. Like, there's no sound coming out of my mouth. Like, I hear my voice in my head saying hello, but there's like no sound coming out. So I hear this woman calling my name, and I could not resist the urge to walk towards the direction that the voice was coming from. I could not resist the urge. So it's like I'm being, almost like something is in my chest, like pulling me towards where this voice is coming from. And I'm not even walking. And y'all, I know this sounds so crazy. I know this sounds so fucking crazy. But in a dream, I'm not even walking. It's like I'm floating towards this woman calling, Kimberly, Kimberly. I'm just floating towards her. I can't stop myself. So I'm getting closer, and the voice is getting louder. It's still soft, but I'm hearing it louder. And that's when it hit me. And in the dream, I'm like, oh, it's her, it's her, it's her, it's her. Like, that's what's playing over and over and over in my mind. It's like, it's her, it's her, it's her, it's her. And she's steady calling my name, Kimberly. And I'm just being like pulled down Esplanade towards the sound of this voice of this woman who I told y'all she's an energy vampire. This is so fucking crazy. I knew I shouldn't have told y'all that story. So anyway, I get pulled, and then I like stop in the middle of the street, and something turns me towards this house. And I've seen this house on Esplanade. Like, the house that I stopped in front of in the dream is a real house that exists on Esplanade Avenue. I don't know who lives in it. I don't know the history of the house, but I know it when I'm passing down the street. I know it when I see it. So I'm not in control of my body in the dream. So I just turn towards the house, and I look, and I hear that voice, Kimberly, Kimberly. And she says, come inside, join me. And I start getting pulled towards the house. And the front door of the house, it doesn't swing open, but it opens, and it wasn't really slow, but just opening. And I'm watching it open, but I can't see anything beyond, because it's just darkness beyond the door. Now keep in mind, it's daylight in the dream, but it is dark in the house. The hallway or whatever it is that's past the entrance where this door is dark. I can't see anything. And I'm feeling my feet. This is crazy. I'm feeling my toes drag up the steps of the house. Like feeling my toes drag up the steps of the house. And right when I get to the top step, right by the door, somebody reached out and grabbed my shoulder like this and pulled me back. And when I went back like that in the dream, they pulled me back into my body. And I sat straight up in my bed. Y'all. This shit is crazy. I knew I shouldn't have told y'all that story. And I knew when she touched me, she created some kind of psychic connection with me. I knew it.
So remember in last video we had this TikTok that had a part 2 to it about the wrong reflection. This is part 2.
The wrong reflection, part 2. Emma packed a bag and stayed at her sister's place. She didn't sleep, didn't eat. She just kept watching the clip, over and over, her reflection smiling, waving, but not moving in sync. 2 days later, Emma returned to the apartment to grab the last of her things. She swore she'd only be 5 minutes. She never came out. No signs of forced entry. No sounds. The door was locked from the inside. All they found was her phone, screen cracked, but still recording. It was facing the painted-over wall where the mirror used to be. 2 months later, the landlord reopened the unit, said nothing to the new tenant, a grad student named Marissa. She loved the place, quiet, cheap, a little cold maybe. On her first night, she set up her phone to record a TikTok. Right as she hit record, the paint on the wall began to crack. Not peel, but crack. She stepped closer, ran her fingers across the surface, and underneath the paint was glass. The reflection in it wasn't hers. Marissa then vanished into thin air and was never seen again. To this day, the landlord has left the apartment vacant, and no one has tried to enter. Follow for more stories like this.
Now, you know what? I was hoping that that girl didn't disappear. And then you rented it out again. And then another girl disappeared. And that's when you stopped renting it out.
I am going to do something different right now. I'm going to do a story time about why you should listen to your gut about people the first time that your gut tells you something off about this person. Listen to it. So back when I was in high school, I had this neighbor, and she was younger than me, but we used to ride the bus together. And at that time, I was dating my first boyfriend. I was about 16, I think. And she's like, Jersey, like, you're too pretty for him. You need to date somebody else. And I was like, well, looks don't matter. Anyways, the first time from the get-go, I felt like something was off about her. Fast forward a few years later, this was about 8 years ago. She found me on social media and we started talking, and she started telling me like she was going through some stuff, and she's like, can you rent me a room? And at the time I was going through it too. I lived with my parents, but being the person that I am, I asked my parents, like, hey, I have a friend, can she rent a room? So my parents said yes. I helped this woman go, like, I went to her house, I helped her pack, I helped her get rid of her trash, so that she could come here. And we started hanging out. She had a daughter, I had my 2 daughters at that time. And we started hanging out, and then I got depressed. I had anxiety, I had depression, I had insomnia, and it just got, thinking about it now, it got worse when she got here. So I started missing work, right? And eventually, like, she would pick up, like, the check for whatever my kids ate. And before that, I had like, we had gone to dinner and I had paid everything. Like, to me, that when you have friends like that, like, you don't, you know, rub it in their face what you do for them. Eventually she was like, maybe we should move out. Maybe you're just depressed because you're living with your parents, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, maybe. So she started looking for a place. She found one, and she told me like we would each pay $800 for like the down. And I was like, okay, who knows if it even was like that amount. But I gave her $800 of my paycheck, even though I wasn't working that much. And then one day, like a few days before we moved in, she's like, Jersey, you're so ungrateful. Like, I have been picking up the check for your daughter's meals, and like I carry you around and blah blah blah. And then like I'm like, damn, like, bro, like this is not. I'm like, you know what? Like I don't think I want to move in with you. You just turned into this person that you hadn't shown me the side of yourself. And I was like, I'm not moving in with you. And I was like, can you give me my money back? She never gave me my money back, even though I was going through it, and she knew it because she saw and she was there. She didn't give me back my money. I stopped talking to her, and then like I want to say like 4 years ago, she looked for me again on social media. Immediately blocked. Like, you don't do that to people. That's not friendship. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, when you have a gut feeling about somebody, that first time, walk away. Turn around, walk away. Because people like that, they're just energy suckers, man. Like, what you call vividores.
Can you imagine what her life would have been like if she moved in with that girl? Everything she did for her, she would throw in her face. And $800 is not a little bit of money to never get back.
So let's discuss energy vampires and how to know if someone is such. Those people that always come to you when something bad is going on, right? Always emotional, always negativity. But those same people don't seem to come around when they're doing good, talk to you, ask you how your day is going, right? That is an energy vampire. Obviously, this can be friend, this can be family, etc. So, bad days happen. We all know that. But when there is a trail of bad things that seem to happen to the same person, it all comes back down to their decision making. It all comes back down to their habits. It all comes back down to them not changing their mentality and simply trying to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Insanity. And that's simply not going to happen. So you have to help these people understand what they need to do. They have to be willing to make the change. And a lot of the time, nobody can make that change but them. That's just simply how it goes. It could be anything. It could be a drug habit. It could be anything of the sort. It has to be, the onus has to be on them. Otherwise, they'll just come to you for that emotional support, and they'll continue to do nothing about their situation, but continue to complain as if somebody else should foot the bill when it comes to that situation. Those people that have you in stuff that you're not supposed to be in, they always got you in a situation. They always got, you in some trouble and some drama. I don't care who it is. You have to learn how to stay away from those people if you want to change your life and go a different direction. It is a must.
And he didn't say it, but we all know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
So, How do you deal with energy vampires? Sheesh. Energy vampires. People who come around you and all they do is suck your energy. That's a hard one. I'm a Pisces, and typically, when I get tired, if I'm at a party or a gathering, I just leave. If I'm feeling overwhelmed. And I'm sure a lot of people are like that. But I do what they call the Irish goodbye. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Anywho, spiritually, what can you do? Look up, Google this. Guardian angel birthday. You can look up your birthday, and there's a guardian angel assigned to you. So, every morning, once you figure out the name, you can pray to your guardian angel. It's a guardian angel. You have like a spiritual security guard. And most of y'all don't even know how to utilize that. Guardian angels typically don't overdo things. They don't get too involved. If you don't ask, of course, if there's something they feel like, we need to intervene, they will. But they're not going to interrupt your free will if you made a choice on something. Which is why they intervene more on children. Because children, their will hasn't been quite set. So, look up your birthday. Let me go back. Look up your birthday. Google birthday, guardian angel. You'll find the name of your guardian angel, and then what you want to do every morning, ask your guardian angels to protect you. One spiritual thing you can do every morning: watch over me and protect me. My guardian angel is Yaba Mia, because I'm born in March. And she's very powerful. So, maybe that's yours too. Maybe it's not, depending on what day you're born. Alright, y'all. Just protect yourself. Energy vampires, you'll feel it. They'll be asking stupid questions. Maybe also, it could be at work and you can't really escape that. It's the conversation that they have. Sometimes there's people who are energy vampires and they do videos. And I'm like, this conversation or whatever their video is going nowhere, and it's just draining my energy, and I'm trying to figure out what is it about. So if you have those moments maybe where you can't escape, then what you need to do is basically, there's kind of like I don't know, mentally disconnect, listen, but don't listen, because they're dependent on you being confused. That's true. So when you disconnect, you don't give them the pleasure of you being confused. You're just looking different. And when they can't figure that out, that's frustrating for them. Alright, just some pro tips. Talk to y'all later.
So I looked up the monthly breakdown. It says the guardian angels by month. So I'm gonna put this here, and let's hope that it, dang it. Okay. Let's hope that you can see it. And I hope you can see it. I'll leave it there for a second. And you can just pause the video and see who your guardian angel is by month. I was born in November, so it says mine is Archangel Azrael. So I have to look that up. And I also looked up what the Irish goodbye is. And it says Irish goodbye or Irish exit. And it's leaving a social gathering without saying goodbye to anyone, including the host. Rude is what it is.
Okay, so I saw your comment and my jaw dropped. When all of this first started going down, I was under the impression that it was a spiritual awakening. And I mean, it really could have been. Maybe the spiritual awakening awoke too much in his mind, but he was just very enlightened, very sensitive to other people's feelings, which he was never those things before. But then after a couple of weeks of that, I was so mentally exhausted that I was physically pale and I couldn't stay awake for very long periods of time. Just sitting next to him was exhausting. And so I was telling him, I was like, I can't stop sleeping. I feel like you are taking all of my energy and that's why you have so much energy. And he acknowledged it. He was like, yeah, I might be. And then on Thanksgiving, we went over to my parents' house and the mother of his first child was there too. And they all said the same thing, that the next day they were so drained just from spending the day with him that they all slept the entire next day.
Somebody need to put him in a corner somewhere away from other people.
So what a lot of people don't talk about is energy drainers. People that drain your energy on purpose. Energy drainers are people that just come around you for no apparent reason. They don't like you and they will still come around you to suck up your energy. That's what they do. They will see you happy. They will see you in a positive mood, right? And all they gotta do is just walk right past you and your whole energy then shifted. You ever went to work all happy and energized and you were just like very happy? One person then walked right past you and your whole mood just shifted? That's a spirit. That's an energy draining person. That's why you have to protect your energy at all times. People will come around you on purpose just to drain your energy, your joy, your happiness, your peace, your mental. They will try to destroy you as a person. And really, all they gotta do is walk right on past you. That's what you call a low vibrational person. Y'all better watch out.
I say it all the time. It only takes one person to shift the energy in the entire room.
5 signs that someone is an energy vampire.
But first, my name is Sade. I speak about all things spiritual. If you're into that type of thing, go ahead and give me a follow. Whether it's you or someone else that you know, we all know somebody in our lives that will drain the crap out of you. But the more aware you are, the more you can keep your boundaries up and protect your energy. That being said, 1. One of the most obvious signs is that you literally feel so drained around them. I'm not talking about like life has you beat down type of drain. I mean like there's no reason for you to be this tired, and when they leave, you literally have your energy come right back up. Is this happening? Protect your energy, y'all. 2, try calling your energy back. Like literally say that I now call my energy back from every person, place, or thing that it doesn't belong to, and I seek my own energy in peace and positivity and love, and see who reaches out to you. I've done this a few times and you'd be surprised who immediately reaches out to you. And it's a lot of times it's a few people and it's random. Trust me. They look for you to fix all of their life issues. And when it comes to yours, they're not around for you. While we're at it, I guess it's on the same number. They also blame everyone for their issues. They're never wrong. Nothing is ever going on with them. It's always somebody else. Protect your energy. 4, always have drama going on in their life. They don't. They're also so negative. Literally, every time you talk to them, it's something going wrong. 5, everything that you're trying to do in life to make yourself better is like an uphill battle. This is especially true if it's someone close to you. It's because they're sucking the life out of you. Stay woke. Anyways, I hope it resonated. Like, follow, save, and share it with any spiritual friends who may have an energy vampire around them.
Stay woke. I agree with everything she just said in that video.
When I was working at Chuck E. Cheese, that's when I was watching the TV show. And for some reason, I was just attracted to watching stuff about vampires. And then lo and behold, my whole work environment is around energy vampires. But let's just get into me standing up at the cash register. And this woman walks in. And before she even walks in, she stands at the door and she stops. It's literally people coming in behind her, but she stops right at the beginning of the door where you can't push it open. So the people are standing right there just like, hey, can you keep going? It was a line, and then she was standing in the line while I was taking the register, and she walks off and leaves, told him to stand right there, and she grabs the cotton candy. The cotton candy is sitting out, in and she grabs it and she just opens it and starts eating it. She just locked eyes with me, and for some reason, when we locked eyes, for some reason, I just felt like I just shrunk completely into myself. Literally, like I felt really, really dry. She's looking at me and she's eating the cotton candy. And I tell her, I said, hey, you have to pay for that before you open and eat it. And she was just like, this long line, I'm not finna wait. And she was like really being very aggressive with me when I was just trying to tell her what, you're not supposed to do. And she knew that she wasn't supposed to do it. Other people are just looking at her crazy. And while she's just looking at me, and it's a very aggressive, like, you're not going to do anything about it type of look. And this is look like a 70-year-old woman. She walks back over, constantly looking at me. And while she's standing in line eating the cotton candy, as I'm finishing the transaction with the person ahead of the little boy, they both walk up while she's holding the cotton candy. And then I asked her, hey, what would you like to get? And then she was just very, very aggressive with how she was speaking to me and just like really giving me a lot of eye contact, and it was making me nervous at that time because I felt like I could not look inside this woman's eyes. It was very, very like a dark, evil presence. People make orders at Chuck E. Cheese and they order for the pizza and the tokens and stuff like that. You give them a tray, you give them napkins, you give them spoons, forks, knives, and a plate and plates. So I piled all of that onto the tray. And then she said, I don't like my paper towels on top of my plates. You need to throw away them plates and the napkins that you put on top. Redo it. And I just looked at her for like 5 seconds. And then I said, of course. And then I threw out everything that she asked me to throw away. I put the napkins underneath the plate. Then she said, I don't want my napkins touching the tray. And I'm just like, okay, so where do you want me to put the napkins? And then she was like, do you have a problem with me? And I said no. And at that point, I was a teenager. I didn't know that she was an energy vampire. But when she asked me, when I said no, I don't have a problem, and then she just looked at me like, and it was just, her eyes had so much darkness in them. So I said, where do you want me to put the napkins? And she pointed, and then I put the napkins there. I finished up her transaction, and for some reason, when she walked away, I wanted to cry so bad. Like, I wanted to cry because of the amount of emotional and energetic drainage that I felt. I was just like,
that lady was probably an energy vampire, I give it to you, but she was also an ass.
5 ways to protect yourself from energy vampires. First, my name is Sade. I speak about all things spiritual. If you're into that type of thing, go ahead and give me a follow. And I already did a video like this before, but I get this all the time, so let's just do another one. 1, keep your head protected, like this. If I'm not wearing a scarf like this, I definitely have a hoodie on. Technically, it's called veiling yourself. It also helps you if you're going through ascension symptoms as well. 2, simply call your energy back. I'm sure you hear about this all the time online, and it probably sounds very simple, so you don't think it's doing anything, but trust me, do it every single day. Most people just do it whenever they feel like someone's pulling on their energy and they forget all about it until they need to do it again. Do it every day, especially if you're an empath. 3, while we're on the topic about doing things daily, there's a couple things you should also be doing daily. While we're on the topic about doing things daily, you might as well go ahead and add Florida water and salt to the mix. Put the Florida water on the top of your forehead, cover your third eye. Most importantly, put it on the back of your neck. That's where spirit's energies come through. If you're extra like me, put it on your throat chakra, put it on your heart chakra, spray it wherever, spray it everywhere. 4, take advantage of salt. Salt is super healing, and it also protects your energy a lot. Make sure your home is cleansed, and make sure you have salt at every single corner of that home. As soon as you wake up, wash your hands with salt. As soon as someone tries you, wash your hands with salt. Before you go to sleep, wash your hands with salt. In fact, you should be taking a salt bath or shower every single day. Make sure you're sealing it with some kind of protection oil. Van oil is a good one. Fiery wall of protection is another good one. And if you don't have any of those, you can also get olive oil and just anoint it yourself. Use Psalms 23, Psalms 91. The list goes on and on. 5, protection crystals. Obsidian is my go-to. Black tourmaline, evil eye protection. There's a few other ones. Selenite, opal, that will help you protect yourself. And opal also reveals the truth. And yes, it does a job just by you wearing it, but please make sure you're charging these crystals and cleansing the energy too. every month. If there's someone draining your energy every single day, you might need to do it every day or at least every couple days. Anyways, I hope these tips helped you guys out. Keep your boundaries up and stay protected. Like, follow, save, and share to your spiritual friends who need some kind of protection tips against the energy vampires.
Those are good to have in your back pocket. I did not know about that. I take Florida water with me every single day. And I and my sister who I work with and our other co-worker, before we start our day, we anoint that whole place with Florida oil. Florida water, sorry.
A week or so ago, I had this dream that there was a spirit on my porch. Story time. So a couple weeks ago, when I say a couple weeks ago, I mean like 2 months ago. I just don't have no sense of time. I was having a hard time sleeping. Have you ever had an era in your life where you feel like there's a lot of shit on you, but there's nothing going on big that should weigh on you and stress you out as much as you did? I just felt stressed. So I was going to sleep, waking up, sleep kept on being broken. I'm sleeping, right? And the next thing you know, I run into my mom in my dream. In the dream, me and my mom are in the kitchen and somebody keeps knocking on the door. However, we know somebody's knocking at the door, but we can't answer. And she's looking at me like, is you gonna answer? And I'm looking at her like, is you gonna answer? But plot twist, neither one of us does. And it wasn't a feeling of whoever was knocking impending doom. It was kind of like a feeling like I know who it is, I just don't want to answer it. But just some random uneasy shit. So then I snap out of it and wake up. My mom calls me on her lunch break because she works up at a college. And if I'm free and she's free, she always calls me on her lunch break just for us to catch up. And she like, hey, I got a question for you. And I'm like, yes, ma. She was like, was you dream walking? So of course I'm playing stupid and I'm like, not say. And she's like, you heard me. Ma, I saw you in my dream. And she was like, I know, bitch, I saw you too. Let me make a disclaimer. This never happens between me and her. We both have dreams occasionally where shit happens, her more than me, but it happens a lot. But we're never conscious enough to actually see each other in the dream. This shit just don't happen. Well, at least for us. But I was like, yeah, ma, somebody was knocking at the door. And side note, I don't do that whole dream walking because I'm not skilled enough, I'm scary, I around get stuck. So I'm just telling her like, I just been oddly feeling stressed, like this stress on my back that don't even belong to me. What's going on? And she's like, you know what I want you to do? Don't use my main broom, but get a broom and I want you to sweep the porch. I'm like, ma, here you go with this mumbo jumbo. Even though low-key, I be loving when she be telling me them gems. And she rolling her eyes because she knows it's always something with me. She's like, this then around and got a haint on him. So later on, she's like, hey, did you sweep the porch? She already knew the answer and she wanted to see if I was gonna lie. So of course I did. It had a whole bunch of leaves because, you know, it's fall. And old like twigs and sticks and like that from old bird nests because we have a lot of birds that hatch their eggs on our porch. So even though I'm grown as hell, she like, go do the porch. And I'm like, girl, you're lame. She tells me, sweep the porch until you hear the church bells ring. And we have like a small Catholic church at the very end of our block. You know, it usually rings the bells every hour on hour or every half hour. So I'm collecting all the leaves, like all the old bird nests and all this. And it's starting to get dark because it's fall. So as I'm sweeping off the porch, and you know, of course, if you know old school black, you don't just sweep off the porch, you sweep it off into the street. That's a way to cleanse your house too, FYI. Also, as I'm cleaning, I'm constantly pouring down salt and sweeping it off because salt absorbs energy. And odd enough, as I continue to sweep and I'm getting into my own flow, and my mom says, stop when you hear the church bells, right? But I'm moving and grooving, like on some bed knobs and broomsticks, just sweep. She come from the back of the house with this thing of ammonia. Let me show you. Just some regular Dollar Tree store ammonia. Hands it to me and she was like, okay, now pour this in the four corners of the porch after you hear the bell ring. It's about 6. I hear the church bells. So now I can stop sweeping because I feel like I've been sweeping more than like a runaway slave. So as I'm pouring the ammonia down in the last 2 corners, you know when you feel like somebody's watching you, I turn around and I'm not gonna lie, I was scared to pour that ammonia in the 4 corners of the porch because for one, we got an old porch and I'm like, I'm gonna around pour it, it's gonna eat through this old ass wood and I'm gonna be in the basement. Could have been the timing of the day or the light, but I know what I saw and I seen like a silhouette disappear before my eye. The best way I guess I can explain it is, you know how sometimes you see things out of the corner of your eye and when you look straight at it, it's gone? Yeah. But one thing I can say, ever since I cleaned that porch, I've been stress-free and sleeping good. That heaviness, that weight, gone, all from just cleaning off the porch. Because porches in the front of your property hold so much energy. We bring in good news, we bring in our problems, people bring their problems. And my mom's very unfiltered, clearly, as you could tell. She said, you gotta be careful what you feed, your energy, your emotions included, because you give power to what you give energy to. You could be the most positive, think you're so untouchable, but honey, you can bring a lot of to life with worry. She's like, because a lot of people think they curse, they got hexes, roots, and it's none of that. Now, we ain't saying never worry, because that's human. No matter who you are, be careful the energy you create or that you take on. Because no matter who you are, you can always personify energy. So if you got some worry, try cleaning your porch.
Maybe I need to clean my porch. I don't feel stressed out. I don't, let me not lie. A little bit. Maybe I need to clean my porch and go to Dollar Tree and get me some ammonia.
So you've heard about energy vampires, bro, and y'all like the video that I made about energy vampires and like sharing what this book said about it. But have you heard of nervous Nellies? Nervous Nellies? If not, let me read to you what they say about nervous Nellies. And I want to know if you got any nervous Nellies in your life. Have you been a nervous Nelly or have you experienced anything from a nervous Nelly? It says, a nervous Nelly is another type of person that you have to protect yourself from. These people mean no harm to others. They are merely trying to keep you safe by projecting their fears onto you. They will immediately tell you why you have to be careful or make you doubt your decisions or your thoughts. As an empath, even if you know what they are saying is not true or you are not scared of it, you might still pick up their fearful energy. All of a sudden, something that did not bother or scare you before might start to affect you. As a result, your energy in your life can be drastically affected. Again, set firm boundaries with these people. Ask them not to share what they think. Remember, their energy can affect you even without them telling you their fears. This is why protection is so important. And the thing is, the chapter I'm on is only bringing up energy vampires and nervous Nellies and etc. because they're trying to teach people how to protect their energy from these people. I've experienced nervous Nellies all the time, bro. Even your parent, my own mom has been a nervous Nelly. And that's why sometimes you got to keep things to yourself sometimes, especially if you're actually excited about the thing or you really want to do the thing and you're not fearful of it at all. Because you got to understand, like they said, most times the nervous Nellies of your life are people that call themselves caring about you. Like they care for you. Sometimes you will end up around a nervous Nelly that just want to give you their input, bro, because they feel like they know what they talking about and you don't know them and they're not doing it out of love. They just actually feel like very pessimistic on the thing and they feel like it's their job to tell everybody why this, that, and the third could or will go wrong. But you do have to learn how to protect yourself from these people and their thoughts and opinions. Like I said, yes, there are ways to prevent it. Like my mom, I always tell her, like, don't tell me about certain stuff. Don't tell me about this. Don't tell me about that. Especially as an empath and somebody that's just, even somebody on the spectrum, sometimes I'll start to spiral. Like, I have things go in my mind and it'll keep going on my mind. It'll keep going around. So now for me, it's a big deal for me to set the boundary of like, don't tell me about this. Like, don't tell me about that. Don't tell me about news. Don't try to tell me about this. Sometimes for myself, I just won't tell people about certain things, or like I'll do the thing and then succeed in it, and then I can tell them, like, or I can already be actively doing it and then I'll bring it up. But outside of that, that's not always enough, because you can set these boundaries, but even then you can be around these people and their energy will just weigh on you. You ever been in a room and you go in there perfectly fine and then all of a sudden you get anxious, and then you speak to somebody and they tell you, oh, I'm anxious about this, and the third, and you feel it on your body, bro? That can happen. And that's why it's so important to protect your energy. And I was going to go on and on and on about what this chapter of the book, it's not you, it's your energy, how your energy is creating chaos in your life. I just read it for y'all to know. I'm going to leave the link below for anybody who want to get it. But I was going to go on and on about the protecting your energy. One, they talk about crystals and different stuff, grounding and all of this. But I'm going to do that in the next video. So go to the next video. Like, share, comment. Love.
Listen, I was just going to say, what is that book? I need that book. But she said, it's not you, it's your energy. I am looking that up. And here it is. And I know that we are not still, hold on for a moment, let me darken this up. I know we are still not doing Amazon, but it is on Amazon. It's not you, it's your energy. And I hope you can see that. Or maybe I'll go ahead and put the link in my video as well. It's not you, it's your energy. How your energy is creating chaos in your life. We are adding to cart for that one because I need to read all of the things.
Need to have the conversation of energy vampires. I know y'all like sinners.
And at some points in time of life, apparently in places like Louisiana, actual vampires exist. But the vampire we deal with every day is the energy vampire. This is an individual who has a lot of chaos going on in their lives. Financially, not at the place where they need to be, don't want to do the work, don't have good relationships with their parents, not trying to fix it, yet still holding on to those toxic relationships. Don't know how to let go of anything that's not good for them. These are energy vampires. It's your homegirl that stays in that toxic relationship with that guy that's been blatantly cheating on her, and she will not accept it, and instead she stays. It's your friend that has children but never actually dealt with her toxic relationships with her own parents. So now she's continuing on the cycle with the children she already has on this earth. Okay, so these are people that intentionally allow cycles to continue. They see the free game, they see the information that they can use, the tools they can use and inhabit to better their lives, if they ignore them. Energy vampires are individuals that have no talent. They're not talented. And so they suck onto the very inch of gift you have, even though it's a momentarily thing, okay? Destiny swapping is not usually a permanent thing. But we need to, as a whole, not just the spiritual community, we need to accept that there are people that linger around you to suck onto your happiness. And that is why they say if you have the same friend group from your childhood, you're probably not going in the right direction. That is why they say this. You are supposed to change your friend group. You are supposed to, over time, meet new people and experience new people. People are temporary, permanent, whatever. But you don't want to keep these temporary people in your life to make permanent damage. And these are the energy vampires I'm telling y'all. So if you got talent, if you're going in the direction you're supposed to go and you're experiencing life and good views, and the people around you aren't, you probably need to change your friend group. I go through very long periods of blocking and deleting people. And I love it. And I love it. And for this reason. Now, I'm a spiritual person, so I know how to protect myself before I come out the house. And I know y'all may not be that experienced just yet. But what I want you to know is that you have to lead in prayer when you leave the house, when you're dealing with family and friends, because you never know who that person could be in your life. Please take note and take heed of what I'm saying. Energy vampires are real. You can go from having a good day, meeting up with a friend, coming home and feel like you.
So it kind of cut her off at the end, but you got the gist of what she was saying. Protect yourself every day from energy vampires.
I like your energy, you know, so I'm like, okay. She told me my face looked like it told.
Go watch the original video in its entirety. I'm telling you, like, it's a good story. But it goes along with what I want to talk about. Basically, in a nutshell, he goes to a bar. He meets a woman there that basically tells him that she's drawn to his energy. She tries to get him to drink something, and the bartender ends up slipping him a note, basically telling him, beware. It's a really good story. Go check it out for yourself. But what I want to touch on is the fact that you have to be careful about who you give your energy to. There are people or entities out there that are drawn to your energy and basically want it for themselves. We have to really be careful about who we give that energy to. I've been told a bunch of times that people love my energy, and I used to take it as a big compliment. But then I started being really wary of who says that to me, because not everyone has my best interests, and I'm very careful, because there's people that I've met that when I met them, I had a full, excited energy, and then after they were done with me, that energy was gone. It took me a while to get it back. If you're a person with great energy, it is true that giving it to others helps them sometimes, or even the energy designed to lift spirits or to help somebody get through a bad situation. So be very careful who you give that energy out to, because before you know it, you'll be a husk of your own self. And with that being said, I love you. Have a good day with purpose, on purpose.
If you've been doing the work to protect your peace, then recognizing energy vampires is essential. Let's break down the most common types so you can spot them before they drain you. Also, I just posted a full video about this in my YouTube, so if you want to check that out, check the link in my bio. It's Geneva's Soul Cipher. First up, the narcissist. They demand constant attention and validation, often manipulating people to feed their ego. You'll notice them dominating conversations, making everything about them, and they will leave you feeling unseen and used. Next, we have the victim. This person thrives on pity. They're always in a crisis, they're blaming the world for their problems, and they guilt you into overextending your energy to save them. If you're left feeling guilty when you try to pull back, you've probably encountered this type. Next, we have the drama magnet. This is the person that stirs up chaos everywhere they go. They're constantly involved in arguments, gossip, drama, conflict, and they pull you into a whirlwind of negativity. You'll notice that they'll never seem to want a solution, only to pull you into their problems. Then there's the critic. This is the person that's super judgy, they're very negative, they can never celebrate other people's accomplishments, and they often leave you doubting yourself. They thrive on keeping you in a low vibrational state because it feeds their insecurities. And finally, we have the clinger. This person is overly dependent on your emotional energy. They typically have a very anxious attachment style. They need constant reassurance and support, and they lean on you without ever considering how much they're taking. Recognizing these patterns is the first step in protecting your peace. And these people aren't necessarily bad, they're just operating from unhealed wounds. But it's not your job to fix them, okay? Set boundaries, protect your energy, and prioritize your growth. A lot of times we're not even conscious of the fact that these types of people can hold us back. So just be mindful, okay, and keep yourself protected from energy vampires.
So I like the way she broke it down to the types of energy vampires, because with the other videos that we saw, they kind of told you what energy vampires make you feel and how to protect. But this video is telling you which type of person that you're looking out for.
Let me know if you don't notice this within your own life as well. But there was a video from a creator, and she was talking about energy vampires and blah, 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 people that drain your energy, da, 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 da. And obviously, with them kind of convos, I'm just kind of like, cool, I hear it, innit? Do you get me? But she said something that fucked me up a bit still. She was just like, and I'm paraphrasing, but she said something about people stealing your luck, or something in that kind of regard, right? So what I took from this was, because I legit can't remember exactly what she was saying, I don't want to be inaccurate, but what resonated with me and what she said was, I noticed, yeah, when I came around certain people, I'm a helpful kind of person. If I fuck with you, I'm gonna put what I can into you, you get what I'm trying to say? But she said, like, have you noticed when you're around particular people, you start having bad luck, things stop going well for you. Like, it's like things start going wrong for you and start going extremely right for them. And then she says something about people being able to steal your dreams and da 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 da. And of course, I'm not going to go too far into that. Take that with a pinch of salt in whatever way you want. But I do hear that in a way, because listen to this. I remember my life was declining. Like, so, bro, I was on the up on certain things. I was about to pop off at a certain point, right? And then I started focusing my energy with certain people. And I'm not going to blame them people or anything. That was part of my journey. So I'm not mad because it made me me. You get me? But, my brother, I was doing fine before I met some of these people, bruv. Like, what the fuck? You know, you're like, what the fuck? Actually, I was doing fine. So anyway, yeah, so I started looking back at my life for the last decade of time, right? And I kept getting drawn back towards these people. And I thought to myself, you know, whatever it is what it is. Blah, 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 blah. You know, that contracts and all them things, past life, all them things, cool, karma, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool, my brother. I'm not an angel, so I'm sure that I might have done some shit. Like, I don't know. I need to go do that past life regression thing. You get me? Soon come. Anyway, my brother. So 2021, right? 2021 this is the main point of this. 2021, I said to myself, brother, you need to start. Go again, follow your fucking dreams. Like, you done all this matrix shit. You already know that you was meant to do this other thing that you decided to fuck off because you were blah, blah, blah. So anyway, look, yeah. 2021, I said to myself, start again. So I started again. I'm telling you, bro, certain people that wasn't for me, people that I loved, bro, people that I would have took bullets for, do you get me? I would have died for these motherfuckers. They got pulled the fuck out of my life. And then I thought to myself, in ways that I just thought to myself, why the fuck is this happening? They're betraying me. People that, man, like I said, I'll die for these people, bro. You get it? Like, brother, they betray, bro. It's like, and I said to myself, what the fuck? Bro, it fucked me up, bro. And I'm sitting there thinking, cool, but I'm old enough to know shit happens and it is what it is. There's a reason for everything, so cool. Not saying it doesn't affect me now and it still doesn't hurt, but my brother, I know it is what it is for a reason. So like I said, 2021, people that are so close to you just did mad shit, bro. And I was just like, cool. And then while I was depressed, bro, once these people came out my life, I was depressed. Still, I was depressed, yeah? But what happened? My brother, I start posting videos again, because I used to make videos when I was younger. I start posting videos again, I go viral. I'm depressed in the darkness in my room, G. I'm going viral. And I'm sitting there thinking, why wasn't things working like this before? What the fuck? These people are not in my life no more. Like, brother, and I was still depressed and things was working out for me flawlessly. Do you know how hard I was going the last decade to make things happen? And when I'm fucking depressed and fucked up, yeah, you're telling me things start working out. And I'm not saying there wasn't more to this thing here, but I'm telling you, it's funny that the minute all of these people came up my life, yeah? And the funny thing is, I still wanted relationships with some of these people. They're my people, bro. But clearly, they wasn't. You get it? Everybody has their time, so I'm not mad at that. So thanks for what we had and blah, blah, blah. Because, bro, sometimes them friendships feel like, fuck, it's like, they hurt like relationships, G. Your family does mad shit, G. Family did a mad thing through this thing. So I was just like, brother. And then things started to work out. All of a sudden, my things start popping off. I'm like, bruv, like, without me putting in mad effort, bruv. I'm not saying I don't put in work, but brother. So, look, yeah. If you think to yourself, why is all these people betraying me? Why is all this thing? You might be the problem. I'm not saying that might not be it. But if you resonated with anything I said through this video, my brother, it might be a good reason why certain people are not in your life. And take it for what the fuck it is. Because I'm telling you, my brother, like, the way things worked out for me was so scary to me. Because I thought to myself, if you knew the amount of struggles I fucking went through this last decade of time, my brother, to the shit that's working out now. Like, I'm not saying I don't go through my things still, I'm not saying that. But brother, when I look at it, on the grand scheme of things, sometimes we could get caught up in the bullshit, do you get me? But when I look at it in the grand scheme of things, my brother, things is good. So remember that, yeah? If you resonated with anything I said in this video, drop me a comment.
He's absolutely right.
They don't want your money, they want your energy. Energy vampires feed on your reactions, not your presence. If you give them no reaction, you starve their addiction. Protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Don't try to fix them. That's their job. Don't argue. Silence is the sword. Don't explain. Your vibe already spoke. Set the boundary, then leave it there. Mirror their chaos with stillness. Remember, being drained is not your destiny. Breathe, cleanse, return to self. Energy is currency, and you're done giving out loans.
I love him. I love everything he said in front of that beautiful background. Everything he said is things we need to keep in our heads and use.
Now I'm about to drop y'all with a gem. It's about to be a little piece of discernment. Everybody not gifted with discernment, but this is something that you can take with you to keep an eye out on. When you run into people who have a bunch of connections, a bunch of friends that hold no substance, a bunch of dates, like not like going out on dates, but like a bunch of people that they're dating that hold no substance. When you get into a connection with someone, the type of connection that you're looking for reciprocity, right? When you meet people who have a bunch of their fucking eggs all over, they're not going to give you reciprocity. And that's exactly what we call energy vampires. If someone is pouring into, pouring into multiple people, do you think they'll have anything to pour into themselves? No. That's because they're not pouring into other people. They're sucking and draining other people. That's a key way to look to see if somebody is on some energy vampire type time. They mean you well. If they are narcissists, you will know. We need to start being able to point out the people who are chosen and the people who are aligned with our lives. When somebody got a bunch of people like that's having the expectation out of them, friends and dates and shit, you got a lot going on. With you not pouring from them. You getting something out of them. You feeding your fucking ego. You feeling like the man. You feeling like the girl. You having fun. You draining people, draining them of their emotions, their feelings, not being available enough. You see what I'm saying? You're draining people. It's impossible to have as many connections as people say that they have. Listen, we all get the same 24 hours, the same 52 weeks, the same 365 days. Y'all, I be drained. I don't know. Maybe it's just a me. I need time for me first. I got to make sure my cup is full enough for me to be able to pour into somebody else. And I expect the same for whomever I'm in friendship with, relationship with, dating, whatever. I expect you to make sure your cup full before we come to meet and, swap. It don't, wow. And then my thing be, they hold no substance. So they not giving those connections energy. They're taking energy. Feeding their ego. Being a narcissist. Draining them. Being an energy vampire. I'm almost 1,000% sure. I don't even got to know how the relationship is set up. But I know for certain and for sure how relationships with no substance go. And how you feel, whether you're a friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. I know how this shit go. It's impossible. I love y'all.
What's an energy vampire, Flo? So, think of a person when I'm saying this. You know that one person that every time you seem to be doing good and they weren't doing great, they always came back to you? Think of a person's name, and whoever comes up, that's the energy vampire that had you like hooked on his fangs or her fangs. An energy vampire is someone who will be around you and they take all your energy and you're feeling you're drained around them. You're tired. You feel depressed all of a sudden. You feel bad about yourself. Even this, people call it narcissism. I call it energy vampiric energies. And they come around you and they suck all your energy dry, right? And then they leave you and you feel better all of a sudden. But here's the thing. They leave you, and because they're not being fed, when they see that you're doing well or you're about to detach from them, they run right back to you, because the energy entity vampire within them needs you to survive. And so what you need to understand is when you see someone leave you, when they're up, they're doing good, they're good, they keep coming back to you, and then when they're not doing good, they come to you, right? Remind yourself that this person is here to suck my energy, because it's like a gas pump. He's gonna or she's gonna fill up the tank from you, and once they're done, they're gonna go out there in the world and live their lives, and then once they lose their energy again, they come back to suck you fucking dry. So pay attention and listen to this when you hear an intuition saying this person's no good. Pay attention.
It is always about your intuition.
You only need one ingredient to protect your house from negative energy vampires, bad thoughts, anxieties, things that are not of you. You need one ingredient. Only one. Let's talk about it. The ingredient is camphor. Camphor is a very, very ancient tool that has been used to protect and cleanse homes and repel negative energies. It is so in tune with spirit that, honest to God, you don't need this whole thing. You really don't need this whole thing to protect your house. This is too much. This is all you need. If you've been looking for a solution, if you've been scrolling, you're like, oh my God, I'm scared. Camphor. Okay? All right. I love you.
So we have come to the end of this video. If this resonated with you, or made you think a little bit deeper, please drop a comment down below and let me know. And if your spiritual journey, like mine, does not fit inside of a box, please remember to subscribe. And until next time, stay open, stay grounded, and stay rooted.